Hey, welcome back to my channel, Joyfully Homeschooling Boys. Another day to get back at it, and today we have a side-by-side comparison video for Denison Math and Thinkwell Math. I'm going to pick one topic and then talk about both of them so I can kind of hit both of them at the same time. All right. Number one, Denison and Thinkwell, they are both online and they both have great teachers. I love both of the teachers. They are great at explaining and doing all the things that they need to do on video. Next topic is the length of videos. For Denison Math, it's about 15 to 20 minutes. And for Thinkwell, it's about 5 to 10 minutes. So for the older uppers, it's probably longer. So for Thinkwell, I'm doing grade 7, but for Denison, we are in geometry and algebra 2. So there is kind of a difference. Maybe Thinkwell, when it gets to older grades, it has longer videos. So now, when it comes to subscriptions, and y'all, these subscriptions are a help sometimes, and sometimes they are not a help. Okay. All right. Anyway, subscriptions for Denison, it's 15 months. And for Thinkwell, it's 12 months. And this is from the date of purchase. So if you purchase it in the summer and you don't do any work in the summer, you just kill some time off your subscription. So be aware of that, especially with these online subscriptions that you are buying. Next topic is courses. Denison only covers a pre-algebra, and now they have a new advanced algebra and trigonometry course that they just came out with last summer. So those are the courses that they cover for now. So it's higher math, not lower math. Thinkwell, though, starts at grade 6. All right. Thinkwell actually goes all the way through college math. You can get AP classes. You can get college, AP, CLEP, honors for 6th, 7th, and 8th if you want to challenge your student. They also have a review for 6th, 7th, and 8th, just to review the topics in those grades. And those courses actually only cost like $40 when it comes to costs. Thinkwell will run you about $169, and Denison will run you about $175. Their new course, the advanced algebra and trigonometry, is actually $195, so that one is a little bit more expensive. The biggest thing I would say to be mindful of is really like when you actually figure out to buy these things, you have to need to use them. I will say I had to reach out sometimes. Like I have to reach out to a subscription person. They usually are very good about either leaving it open for you for a few more weeks or something like that. They're usually very good about that. So hopefully that's not something that is a big deal. Usually in the case scenario, like we're done within a year with the coursework for that year, unless something happens. Next thing is placements tests. They both have placement tests. So they are just online for you to take to know where your child should start. As far as the text, as far as a textbook, Denison is bundled. So you have your student book, your teacher book, your answers. They are all printed and shipped to you with the price of $175. And so bundled, that's it. And you get the online videos with that, of course. And so that is what text looks like for Denison. For Thinkwell, though, Thinkwell, for the $170 that you pay, you are getting online videos. You do get the text, but it's something that has to be printed if you want to print it. If you wanted to order the textbook, the books are like $85. If you wanted quizzes, it's like $30-something. If you wanted online tutoring support, it's like another $40. So they do have extra add-on stuff, but you don't really have to purchase it because the book is there for you to download and print if you really want to have a physical book. Now, I am a physical book person, and honestly, earlier in the year, I would have just ordered the book because I don't want to print it. And so it depends, because I feel like I print stuff and then I don't take it to Staples to get it binded, and then it becomes like this crazy mess. And I haven't invested in one of those binding machines. Should I? I don't know. I haven't. Overall, Denison gives you the benefit of actually it comes with the printed text. I feel like if you're paying $40 per book is not bad, but I feel like if you're already paying $170 for the course with Thinkwell, I feel like they should give you the printed manuals for like $20 and then let you pay shipping, and then for like a total of $50 versus like $80-$90. It's kind of like yeah. And so that's that. They both have a free trial on Denison. They let you see the lessons. On Thinkwell, they let you see up to 5 courses. So these are all things that you can see. And with the placement test, you should be able to figure out whether this is like, which one of these is a good fit for your child. But I will say, before my kids did choose these last year, like with my older kids, I showed them a Denison video, and then I showed them a Mr. D video, and like how he talks and how he explains, and they went with Denison. So it's one of those things, like, the biggest thing about online classes is if you can, your child can physically sit and listen to them and see if they're going to be okay with that person talking to them every day. And like, are you talking too fast? You talking too slow? Some kids have their preferred preference. I feel like that definitely will help your child picking out a math course for themselves. When it comes to video, Denison gives you one video where he walks through the lesson. He walks through walks through your classwork and all your problems with you. And you do the classwork. The extra problems is usually about 10 to 15 problems depending on the day. And that's Denison on the video. I love that he walks through the problems with you, because your child is actually seeing what's going on and all that stuff. With Thinkwell, the videos are broken up by examples. So the videos for the day, it might be one of 4 videos or one of 5 videos, and the things are broken down for you. They actually have captions for these videos that can be in Spanish, or I forget the other language, but there's another language that you can caption Thinkwell into. And so they give you examples. Sometimes he also uses manipulatives, but Denison, sometimes he pulls out some things which are kind of cool too. So I feel like video-wise for Denison and Thinkwell, they're really doing excellent with that. And I will talk more about that, because at this end of the video, I'm going to show you inside of Thinkwell and Denison what their dashboard kind of looks like, so you can see. Now, tests for Denison, they have a test A and a test B. And so he recommends, if your child tests under 70%, that they should restudy again and take test B. Okay, so there's 2 tests for that. For Thinkwell, there's a test every so often. There's a review for that test, and it's graded and it stays online for you. I will say about these subscriptions, most of the time when your subscription is over, you lose access to these grades. So printing these things is vital. All right. Quizzes. Denison does not have any quizzes. Thinkwell does. It does a quiz for like every certain amount of lessons. Reviews. Yes. Denison has reviews for your tests. Thinkwell has reviews for your tests. All good. All making sure they're covering all the things you know for your tests. These are good. Is there extra practice? Besides the work that you do for Denison after he does the video, there's really no extra practice. Denison does have cheat sheets that if you need to go back and remind yourself of something, or just in general, these are great sheets to have and keep, because these are sheets that you can use to study for like the SAT and stuff. So I really like these cheat sheets, but nothing extra along the practice lines if you need it more. Now, the final does come with extra, kind of makes sure in Denison that you do have, the final has 2 practice tests, I believe, and then you take the final. He makes sure you're ready for the final when you're going to take it. For Thinkwell can go on and on and on, I feel. So with Thinkwell, you watch your lesson videos. You have a worksheet that you can practice on. You have an interactive practice that you can do online, and you have an extra interactive practice that you also could do online. They also have, if you have a problem with doing a certain problem, there's something called the study buddy, and you can click on him, and he's like there to help you walk through and chat through finding the answer to your problem. I really feel like this is valuable when it comes to word problems, because that's kind of where a little bit where my son struggles at and figuring out what direction he needs to take. So yes, there's a study buddy there, and he can kind of walk you through that. I also like that after your stuff is graded, it actually shows you right and wrong, so you don't have to go looking for it. It also explains when you get something wrong. So I do like that a bit. Thinkwell for my 7th grader, especially because sometimes those problems they be throwing out there, I'd be having brain farts and I'd be like, wait a second, but that's not making any sense. So I love the extra explanation, so I can be there and be like, oh, okay, I understand what they're talking about. So yeah, as far as answers are concerned, for Denison, you have a whole book of answers. The student gets their own answers. You get an answer book, so but it's kind of for the student so they can check their work, but the students can also check their work online because there's a solutions video online after their work. So it's kind of like a don't cheat, but your answers are right there type thing. And also Thinkwell study buddy, like don't cheat, but he's right there. On Denison, you also have the ability to just go through after you do your classwork and you got something wrong. There's also a video to work through your solutions, your classwork, when you get something wrong, to know where you messed up. So I do like that video is also available on Denison. So as you see, there's a lot of things going on with each of these, but a lot of them kind of meet up and they are doing their thing. When it comes to grading for Denison and Thinkwell, Denison has a great laid out grading plan. Each class assignment is 10 points, and then your test is added up with those 10 points per chapter you're doing. And then when you get to the end, you add it up, multiply everything by, and you got a grade. And so I love that with Denison. It's very well laid out. It's easy to understand, and you don't need all that extra stuff. Thinkwell is graded online. They only grade your quizzes and tests, which is something I liked about them. That really kind of hinged me over to them versus CTC math. I was just so confused about how you're grading and what you're taking to grade. And so I do like the fact that Thinkwell only uses the quizzes and the test, and that's it. There's no, oh, I messed up on this classwork, so now it's going to tank my grade like 18,000 points. So yeah, that's how grading looks for them. Overall, we are still getting used to Thinkwell for my 7th grader. I do feel like for Thinkwell itself, for me to just let him go do the videos and just do the interactive practice and the extra practice, I feel like he's only doing like 9 to 12 problems. So I do feel like printing out the worksheet and actually making him do work on paper helps a little bit further, especially when after he does his interactive practice for the first time and he doesn't do really well, I know we need to move on to paper. And so that's another thing Thinkwell has, is that you can redo your interactive practice and extra practice, but a lot of the times they might be the same questions. So it's like you're practicing it again, but it's the same question, so you might kind of already know the right answer. So I feel like being able to print the pages for the extra practice and really doing the reviews when it's time to review is very beneficial when it comes to Thinkwell. And just knowing that your child has really understood what they're learning, not necessarily like, oh my goodness, they mastered it, but understand it to a point where it's like, I can move on and apply this to other areas of math. Denison, no complaints from me. My older kids like Denison. My junior kind of felt that until he got to the like trigonometry part of geometry, that it didn't challenge him. But once he got to that part, he was like, whoa. He just started getting into that. My 10th grader is actually past halfway through geometry, so he will be starting algebra 2 probably by March, because he is getting his work done. He ain't playing. And around here, if we don't have anything to do on Saturdays, guess what? we could always throw in a math lesson. I am going to show you what Denison looks like online and Thinkwell, so you can see what each of the dashboard looks like and see what a typical day for your student would look like. So let's go check that out. Okay, so here we are at the dashboard. This is what it looks like. This is to go to directly to your child's course. These are your books that they come with. They're in 2 volumes. That's why I was saying on the video, like this one is $40 and this one is $40 if you wanted it in print. Here's buy extension button, and they also have live tutoring. This is where you log in as a parent to see the grades that are saved. And so it shows overall grade, activity, when they were last on here. So let's go into the course. Hopefully this doesn't take forever. Oh, here we go. So this is it laid out. This is your students thing, grades, checklist. This checklist will show you everything that they clicked on. Under your thing, we can look at that in a second. So this gives you all the course information, how to use it, all that stuff. Each class is broken down into modules. And when you go in that module, they're broken down 1.1.1. The numbers kind of confused me when we first started, but we're getting it together. And here goes your reviews before you have a quiz. And there's not a quiz every module. Here we go, quiz again, and then there's practice tests and your tests. So these modules go all the way down to 36, most likely, yes. And then you have all the answers for all of your worksheets. And this is what it looks like inside. Now, when you are doing to take it a little further, if he clicks on the videos, it will go straight into his videos and it will start playing.
At the heart of mathematics.
And then it shows you like there are 3 videos that are on here, part 3 of 1. And then this shows you in this lesson, you have the video, you have the notes, which is the textbook, but just on this lesson. And then you have a worksheet practice, and then you have online practice, and then extra online practice. And so this is your dashboard. It shows what you're learning. You can change the subtitles, like I said, English, Spanish. I thought there was another one. And then this is your professor, and everything he's doing on here comes up on here. It's very nice to look at. So you exit back out. And then I believe this gives you, let's see if it pops up for me. It's moving mad slow. But yes, this keeps the history of your tests. There are some exams, which is 2 for the year, like a midterm and a final. And then these are your quizzes. So that's what they keep track of. And then it has checklists. This does take a while to upload. But when it does upload, it will give you check marks and everything to show you what your child did. I love in the video part for those kids that like to try to be slick and don't want to watch the whole video. Sometimes it shows you, oh, you only watched 81% of this video. But it will give you a check mark to show that you finished it. So it's, and they do that for everything. Practice, extra practice, whether you even checked on the worksheet or the notes, it lets you know. So yeah, and then it keeps a score here as well. So yep, this is what it looks like inside of Thinkwell. So let's check out Denison. All right, so when you come into Denison, everything is basically here for you. If you're logged in, you'll see this face as that's your account, and then your courses, which is where we are right here. If you have more than one child, which I learned recently, which I will tell you, if you have more than one child and you buy the course again, it doesn't reset, so your child uses the same course that your last child was using. It just basically extends the time once you purchase another one. So once you go inside of geometry, it breaks it down. And then you click inside. This is your lesson video, and it will pop up. And I love how everything is big and bright, and it walks through the book exactly that your child is looking at with you. So this is the lessons, and these are the solutions that he walks through. And then when they're done, they can push complete. Or, I mean, if it's a second child, it already looks like it's done. So it's, yeah. Denison is more so simple and to the point. And then you can click right to your next lesson. So yeah, back to the dashboard. This is broken down like this for every video. And as you see, there is a review for the test before you take the test in Denison. And last thing I will show you, let me fast forward.
And the opposite of
He will go through each problem and break it down and actually show your child step by step how to do it on here. This is one great feature that I love about Denison, that it's like we doing this work together. So that's that. You can click right back to your library, and that's what that looks like. Algebra 2 looks exactly the same. You come in, blah, blah, blah. What they did do, and I didn't realize that they did do now, they don't send the grading sheets with your bundle in the mail. You have to actually go on here to get your sheets, which I didn't know they were, because I emailed them because I was like, my sheets are missing, but they actually make them online. They didn't realize if parents were using them or not, but we use ours. Thank you for watching my video, and as always, like and hit that notification bell if you are one of my subscribers. If it's your first time around here and you haven't subscribed, you can go ahead and subscribe and keep coming on this journey with us as we homeschool our kids. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. And if you haven't seen one of my other math videos, I'm gonna place that for you right here. Bye.